a quick hi to Jovita and this thing before everybody joins. Sureka, hi to Sunil and Jovita.
Hi, Sunil. Hi, Kumar.
Hi, Sureka.
We are live,
Hi,
but we haven't started the meeting.
Hi.
All right, we'll go live.
Nice meeting you, Sureka. I don't think I've met you.
Oh,
You don't have to hide.
you want to cut? They haven't met you, so it's a nice meeting you. She came down to say hi. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's give it at least till 7:40.
Okay. Kumar, I was going to tell you that there's a really amazing Netflix which has Devi Shetty. Have you seen it? Surgeon's Cut.
I've seen it.
Yeah, it's very well done. And I was thinking of you the whole time because, you know, he's one of those, you know, you work very closely with him. And I know you've done a lot of, you know, work with him. So the whole time I was looking at that special with the surgeons, and there's all the surgeons are extremely impressive, but I thought Devi Shetty was really, he pushed it out of the park. His passion and his love and his care for, you know, the Indian heart condition and the problems.
Yeah,
If anybody hasn't seen it, please check it out. It's a Netflix.
Cool.
It's called The Surgeon's Cut. It's a documentary, and Devi Shetty from Bangalore is the 4th surgeon on the series. There's only 4 world famous surgeons.
Yeah, before he built Health City, we were walking together across the land. It was just a piece of land, and he threw out his vision to me, and within 2-3 years, it was up and running.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
He's very, very impressive. Okay, I guess we can. What do you think, Sunil?
Yeah, just give me.
What was the date I took on the board, Jovita, you remember?
2014.
Yeah.
6 years, Kumar. We dragged you in.
Yeah.
I mean, it was supposed to end at the reunion this year. I mean, the official start is January 1st, 2015. But at the reunion of 2014, you were chosen as president-elect. So it's a 5-year term, which started Jan 1st, 2015.
Yeah, I'm getting some text. Let me just answer and then we'll get going.
Okay.
Hi, Cecil.
Hey, how are you doing today?
Good, thank you.
Yeah, both of you haven't met, right?
Yeah, we've been met. I'm Baji Puram.
Yeah.
Pleased to meet you.
Cecil Baji is the one who has all our money sitting with Northwest Mutual, and he's done a fabulous job. So it's good that y'all are meeting, because going forward, we're going to be taking the next step, which is a big step.
I know Kumar has invited me several times to fly down to the retreat, the get-togethers. It's always been around the time when you have your group annual FOSJ get-togethers. I've had some conflict or travel happen.
So Zoom is actually simpler.
I know Jovita and I were talking about that yesterday. You know, we're doing things that we normally wouldn't do.
Never done, yeah.
The pandemic was not there, at least the silver lining in all this craziness.
All right, shall we get going?
Yes.
Okay, I mean, we are live right now. So we have about 18 attendees. I mean, it keeps shifting, but we have 83 registrants. So I'm assuming a lot more folks will start joining us when the non-technical carol singing part starts. The event is going to be recorded because I think this part of the event is very important. So we will record it, and for folks who want to watch it later, it will be available. Again, I'm Sunil Babu. For those of you who don't know me, I'm from batch of 90. I'm the current FOSJ co-treasurer with Maya Theratel, and the secretary and treasurer-elect for the FOSJ from 2021. I welcome you to this wonderful virtual gathering. we will start off the evening formally by presentation of FOSJ accounts from the various online fundraisers and also other fundraisers we have done over the past year. We have had some new strategies with the funds starting this year, and I'll have our FOSJ president and the president-elect explain the changes we have made. The changes, I believe, are exciting, and hopefully, with everyone's help, we can make this organization highly functional and worthwhile for Johnnites. So yeah, the formal part will start with presentation of the accounts, like I said, and I'll have Kumar Belani, the current FOSJ president, who has been a president for several years, more than he initially anticipated because of the exceptional job he did. And Kumar will introduce our financial planner for the past several years, who's been guarding the FOSJ money and working very well with our team. Him and his wife, Surega Puram, I want to make a special mention of her because she helps FOSJ team a lot in managing the accounts. Welcome, Kumar, and I'll have you take over.
Thank you, Sunil. At the outset, I want to thank the FOSJ board that has been working with me since nomination in late 2014. And the people that really helped me were Jovita Krasta, Paul Tolowat, Maurice Joseph, Marian Kamath, George Verghese, Narayan Baliga, Sharon Doss, Selwyn Baptist, Maya Territal, Brian Martis. So I thank the previous board for helping me and other members also of FOSJ who are not officially on the board from time to time. And I want to congratulate the new board with Jovita as the president and Maya, the vice president, and Sunil Babu, like he said, the secretary treasurer. And the board members are Peter Disa, Carmel Joseph, myself as the immediate past president, as ex officio, and then the advisory board, Narayan Baliga, Selvan Baptist, Sharon Doss, Marian Kamath, Brian Martis, and George Verghese. So congratulations to the new board. When I took on as the president, I had many meetings with George Verghese, who transferred whatever money we had. At that time, we decided to open an account with Northwest Mutual, and we've had many donations since then, and we've written several checks to CBCI Society to do not only the scholarships to set up an endowment for student scholarships. The first check that I wrote was for $75,000. Subsequently, we've deposited money for the GI fund that was brought forward by Paul Tolowat. And then we had the deposits towards the geriatric fund of $31,500. We had an ENT presenting scholarship of $5,000. We've had the Anil Rajnesh Dung scholarships with money of $10,000, and then Professor Sylvan Rego, another endowment for $20,500, and then the Dung money for the scholarship of $18,850, and then the Wilfred and Shantala Lewis anesthesia fund of $10,000, and another $25,000 from arranged by myself through Priyanka Endowment. These are just some of the funds and the monies we received. We've also gotten monies from Johnson & Johnson through the help of Jijo, and I'm really grateful to all the contributions made. And this year, we've had lots of pledges, and especially towards the geriatric fund, which Marian Kamath is going to be spearheading. And I think there's $250,000 that he has pledged. And then special thanks to Jovita also for setting up a matching amount of $67,000 approximately to help with student scholarships in the memory of her parents. And at that time, when we opened the accounts after George Verghese transferred the funds to us, we opened an account with Northwestern Mutual, and we have been filing annual tax returns. And Baji and his wife Sureka Purams, they've been doing a great job. So I'll hand it over to Baji to go ahead and explain how we are doing with the funds. And then after that, I will have Jovita, the next president, say a few words. We also have online Cecil from the new CPA firm who's going to be helping us, and then the other participants who are watching. Thank you, and hope you're enjoying this holiday season. I know it's been a pretty difficult 2020 for everybody, but now that the vaccine is here and people have started receiving the vaccine, I think we have some light at the end of the tunnel. So Baji, welcome, and you can take over now.
I just wanted to add a very personal note. Kumar, thank you so much. You have really led with dignity and grace and been a role model to so many of us. And even before you became president of the board, you have been somebody with Kiran who have opened your house and your heart and really taken in every Johnite who comes through Minnesota. And it's through your work and your love that you have really expanded the knowledge about the fact that any Johnite, including the nuns and the students, can come by and get some training and mentorship. So Kumar, for all your love and thank you very, very much. And with regards to Baji, before he starts, Baji, I want to tell the Johnites, from a personal point of view, I've only really spoken to Baji in the last few months. A flurry of emails and all of that stuff. So I'm imagining this very kind of mathematician, accountant man, you know? And then I get to hear about the fact that he is from the similar background. Sureka comes from the coffee area that I and my family grew up in Chikmagalur. Her father was the advisor of the coffee farmers. Baji comes from Chennai and is connected to all the things that I love, from the cooking to the food to the passionate with regards to helping people, and has helped tremendous number of charities, both in the Twin Cities as well as in India. So before I hand over to Baji, I want to say again, you know, we know so little when we just look at each other through an email. And when we actually get to speak and talk, and I hope we will get to actually physically meet, I want to let the Johnites know how carefully you have guarded the Friends of St. John's money and helped it grow with safety. So to all, welcome in morning, good morning for the Indians, early morning, good evening, good afternoon, etc. And with love and gratitude, I present you Baji Puram.
Thank you, Jovita.
Thank you for your kind words, Jovita. And I echo everything you said about Kumar. Kumar would show up in my house on a snowy day in the night or after surgery to the office and say, I've got some checks, can you take care of this? I don't even mail it because it's a big check amount, so I want to make sure it's personally put in. I mean, Kumar, you inspire all of us to do voluntary work or help an organization. It's amazing to see. And Surek and I think about it on a cold winter night. Kumar would say, hey, I'm on my way home. Can I just stop by? I've got all these checks. We count them, then we take them and deposit them and send them out. We're just doing our little part in what we can do to help. I mean, what the members of FOSG are doing is writing checks and contributing so you can make a big difference in students' lives. It's hats off to you guys. I mean, it's amazing. Congratulations. I wanted to just take a few minutes. All this came about, I think, when the new board came on, when Sunil, Jovita, Maya all took over the board. They wanted to have a little better understanding of the mechanics, kind of the plumbing that goes behind the scenes when checks come, what is done to get to empower and learn. So I went through a small presentation. And then they said, hey, would you mind sharing something a little more to all of the members in our annual Christmas event so they kind of know what we do, how we do, and what's going on. And I said, I'll be happy to talk and share a few things. So I was hoping I'll cover like 3 topics today. One, maybe some background about charitable planning, some giving and what it is, a little bit about myself, share the process, what we do as an investment organization, and then give you a high-level state of the year 2020, what's the account, what's it. And if you want me to go into any more details, we'll try and cover. If not, we can always follow up individually or with the group with questions. With that, just want to share a couple of things with the group. Bear with me a second. Screen here. So this is a little background about myself. What we try to do is really inspire action so that our mission is to really build long-term relationships through confidence, optimism, and happiness for individuals and businesses so they have clarity around their world and financial lives. And what we do, this is our area of work. We do comprehensive planning, wealth management, insurance, retirement, and a lot of work is around estate and trust planning. So part of charitable work that we do. And there are a few things that we believe in terms of our philosophy, how we want to alleviate financial stress. We want to help education and make the complex decisions very simple in life. Our planning process is very simple, whether it's a nonprofit or a for-profit. We want to understand why are we doing something, what is important. Once we understand that, we want to look at your goals, your family values, core values, and what's your vision, and then go about the process through the things that we can bring to the table. Just wanted to share a little background of what we do and how we do before I get into the nitty-gritty of things. Next piece that I wanted to share is because it's the year end and the whole part of what we're trying to do is a charitable event is raise funds, make it better for others. I just wanted to share a couple of highlights for 2020. My screen share gone. Looks like Zoom is acting up.
Maybe a delay. I guess Sunil might have the same information. Are you talking about the accounts?
Baji, maybe, yeah, I think you froze. If you want to join back in, disconnect and join back in.
Baji, disconnect and come back in. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Okay, now it might work.
Yeah. Okay, I think now I'm on.
Yes.
Okay, Sunil, I thought I'll share this with the group. Basically, for this 2020, all of the charities, there's an increased charitable deduction for 2020. So people can give for cash gifts to public charities, almost 100% of AGI. So that's gone up from 60 to 100%. That's a good thing to consider. A couple of other things are cash donations for public charities have gone up. And I think, Jovita, you asked, could we do donor advised funds? That's yes, that's something that can be done. People can continue to give stocks and equities also to charities and any other long-term assets that have capital gain property can be given other than writing out checks. Other than that, since most physicians have an issue of AGI and incomes, etc., for charitable deductions, this year the government has also added that for if you want to give it, if someone is giving a smaller donation, up to $300, they can also get above the line deduction for individuals. And then for most of our clients that we work in our world, most of the charities that I work with, I see is most people that are retired or above 70, 72 and a half, they can also fulfill their required minimum distributions using their IRA and 401k monies. They can write those checks so that any qualified plans or IRA, if instead of taking a taxable distribution, 100% of that money can be used for as a gift to the charity and get a deduction. So that's a good thing. I can always email some of these documents if people want later, Jovita. We can get that out to people as well.
Yeah, I asked them to post questions and we will answer them on the email.
Okay, yeah, that's something we can certainly talk about and help people understand a little bit more in detail. So the next thing that I want to talk about is in terms of how are we managing any capital currently. So originally the background was, I think FOSG had a checking account and a few checks were coming and that's where it was. So as an option, Kumar asked me, is there anything that we can do to manage the money and distribute? Our number one goal is to give the money to the people at FOSG in India for education and other purposes. Any of the donors, I'd like to park the cash. So we just had cash parked for a while. And after it built up a little bit in value, Kumar's question was, is there anything we can do to earn a little bit income? And how do we manage this? Because this is all money from different donors. So typically, when we manage something on a fiduciary care for most clients in terms of our advisory process, we take the money that they give based on the philosophy they want, when they want the money, who do they need to be given to. We develop a policy statement. I don't know if the screen is large enough. Is this big enough, Jovita?
Yes.
Okay. And then we invest the money according to a strategic allocation based on the timeline of when you need the money. And typically we build a portfolio, then we monitor and we manage, we repeat. And then we look at, is there any liquidity needs and what's changing in the capital markets and any other allocation. And accordingly, we make changes to our clients' accounts or any account. When it comes to nonprofits, we know the needs are very different and may change time to time based on the size. So this is a little background about the St. John's account itself that I'm walking through right now, and the money that's being held here in cash. Most of the money is in cash. So as of 12/18, which is pretty current, to report to the members of FOSJ, there is 299,000 in the account, of which total contributions are 286. Most of it is in cash, and the account has earned about $12,200 so far. And it's sitting in a brokerage account, and a portion of the money is invested. Out of that whole amount, only about 87,000 is being invested. So the rest, as and when the board decides when the money is needed, if something needs to be distributed, we can make that happen. If the board decides we don't need the money right now, we may need the money a year, two later, then we can decide on a ladder of risk, how much would we invest? And it's a decision that we are closely in contact with the board members and make those decisions on a regular basis. So the good news is last year, the account was up about 7.8%. And right now, this last quarter was a good quarter. About $45,000 of money came in. Year to date, $190,000 has come in, and that's earned another $3,600 of income. That's where it is at. So next piece is just shows how the money has come in the recent past. And this is a pie chart that basically tells us about 70% of all of the money is sitting in cash. Just a little bit is invested in the markets so that we can earn something more than just keeping it all in cash. Anything else that you would like me to cover at this point, Sunil or Jovita?
No, I think this is what we really wanted the Johnites to see and to get an idea and to really see the face of the person who's taking care of it, and consider in their questions, etc., which I think we'll have more time to answer by email, to get a much better sense of what they'd like to know. Because I think going forward, we'd like to do some of these financial transparent seminars maybe twice a year, and let the Johnites see for themselves with regards to the safety and guardianship of their money. So
Yeah.
Baji, I want to thank you, because the Johnites are all in the mood for their Christmas songs. So we
Phenomenal.
truly appreciate your work and the love you've given to this, and have been so careful. And it is my opportunity to say that now going forward, we're going to be holding a lot more of the money here and just sending the dividends to India to fund the scholarship. So we will have a lot more discussions and planning to do with regards to earning through the financial vehicles a better dividends and a better chance of growth. We have been very cautious and careful, and I appreciate you following our request on that. So before I introduced Cecil, our next speaker, I would like to just mention the names of my new board, and let the Johnites know who they are. And for me, they're just 5 human beings who have done nothing but give almost every day text, email, support, and work. So I'll start with my vice president, Maya. Maya Teratil has been the president of the chapter for the last 5 years. She's been a tremendous worker. She's sat behind the scenes and done all the checks and calculations, and has taken on as treasurer with Sunil this year when Mary's Joes had to drop down for personal reasons. And they have given, again, constant love and support to our program. Sunil is an oncologist in Indiana. I don't know where he gets his energy from. That's one of the criteria to become a board member. You have to have nonstop energy. So I figured there must have given something in the water at St. John's that makes this Johnite group really work nonstop. And Sunil has been the rock, the foundation, the visionary of all these fundraisers. Then we have Peter Dessar, and Peter has been back and forth supportive member of St. John's. And again, Peter's a gastroenterologist in Red Hook, and again has nonstop energy. We call him the ever-ready battery. And he constantly is collecting and helping to fundraise for St. John's. We have Carmel Joseph, who is from Atlanta, Georgia, and Carmel actually has been a new board member and has been very active, as you know, in all the sports events, and works in critical care in Atlanta, Georgia. And we are so eager and happy to have this very active board that truly participates and supports everything that Friends of St. John's does on a daily basis. Now let me introduce Cecil Nazareth. Cecil Nazareth, our next speaker, is our new accountant. Cecil is a CPA in the Nazareth Group and has been in America for 40 years. And during that time has been an extremely productive professor of accounting, a CPA, and an expert on international accounts. He's written a book, and I will let Cecil explain a little bit more, with a focus on international accounting and taxes, and with our interest in India. We personally, again, know Cecil as somebody who has helped many Johnites in their personal accounting. Marian Kamath has been his client and has been one of the leads in letting us know about Cecil's work. Cecil also works for many charities. He lives in Connecticut and is extremely active with many works and with tax issues, both in India, internationally, and in America. So let me introduce and take it forward, Cecil Nazareth.
Jovita, thank you very much. Sunil, can you hear me? Jovita, can you hear me?
Cecil, we can hear you.
Yes,
Go ahead.
Yeah, okay, great.
Cecil, are you sharing your slides, or you want me to?
No, I thought if you can, I'd appreciate it.
Okay.
Be a little faster and more efficient. So thank you everyone for the opportunity while we are getting started here. And I do a lot of these. I'm certified to do similar to CME. I do CPE. I'm a professor, so they say that those who stop learning start teaching. So I think that's where I get my wisdom from. I don't know. But thank you for the opportunity to present just a few slides about charitable giving and some good stuff. I'm also originally from Bangalore, and thank you to Marion Kamath, who always likes to volunteer my time. I love that. So, but he's an amazing person, and I know of the organization pretty well. Baji, thank you for explaining quite a few things. I'm a CPA, so that was good. You explained the charitable contributions, how it is under the CARES Act. Right, and Sunil and Jovita and the whole board, I'm excited to work with you guys. We do a lot of, I wouldn't say a lot, we are a CPA firm that specializes on international topics, but we do about 10 or 15 public charities, which are pretty large. So happy to help and happy to grow this organization to a different level. So a couple of things that I cited while I'm getting to know this organization. One is financial statements. I think if you look beyond your organization, if you want funds from another organization, the first question they're going to ask you is your financial statements and your tax returns for the last 3 years. So I think that's one of the focus would be to improve that visibility and transparency. Financials and tax returns to be published on the website. With other organizations, I tell them to just
Excuse me,
publish it.
so sorry. I think, Jovita, can you please mute yourself?
Devi Shetty from
Jovita,
Bangalore is the 4th surgeon
Jovita,
on the series. There's only 4 world famous surgeons.
let me just quickly mute her.
Before we built the city, we were walking together across the land. It was just a piece of.
I'm back, sorry.
He threw out his vision.
Oh, yeah.
And within 2-3 years, it was up and running.
Well, I think, there might be a problem with my recording might be coming back.
Okay. So maybe stop it and maybe.
Yeah, let me just quickly stop it. And then we'll start again.
I took on the board, Joita, you remember?
2014. Yeah, the recording is coming back.
Yes.